Max and Lily were no strangers to adventure, especially since they discovered the secret powers of their magical treehouse. Tucked away in the large oak tree at the edge of their backyard, the treehouse had a mysterious ability to transport them to different places and times whenever they opened a certain ancient-looking book that rested on the shelf. The book, titled Adventures Through Time, was enchanted. One breezy afternoon, Max and Lily climbed into the treehouse, eager to escape the boredom of summer. They pulled the book from its resting place and noticed a new chapter had appeared. The page was titled The Castle of Eldoria, A Journey to the Middle Ages. "This looks amazing," Max exclaimed, his eyes wide with excitement. Lily, always the practical one, looked over his shoulder and smiled. "Let's see what adventure this one takes us on," Lily said as she placed her hand on the page. The book began to glow, and suddenly, the world around them blurred. The treehouse vanished, and they found themselves in another time and place. When the light faded, Max and Lily were standing in a grand medieval castle courtyard. Around them, knights in armor were practicing sword fighting, their swords clashing loudly as sparks flew from the steel. In the background, a majestic stone castle towered over the courtyard, its tall turrets reaching for the sky. Banners in bright red, blue, and gold waved proudly from the walls, fluttering in the cool breeze. Max was speechless as he took in the sight before him. Lily, equally amazed, could hear the sounds of horses neighing and blacksmiths hammering away at their forges. The air smelled of hay, leather, and burning metal. Just then, a friendly knight in shining armor approached them. His helmet was tucked under his arm, and he smiled warmly at the siblings. "Welcome, travelers. I am Sir Cedric of Eldoria. You've arrived at a most opportune time. There is much to see and do in our castle. Would you care for a tour?" he asked, his voice kind and inviting. Max and Lily exchanged glances, their hearts racing with excitement. They nodded eagerly. "Yes, please," Max said. Sir Cedric led Max and Lily through the bustling courtyard. They watched in awe as knights practiced jousting, their horses galloping across the field with impressive speed. Inside the castle walls, the grandeur continued. They passed through massive wooden doors into a grand hall where tapestries hung from the stone walls, depicting legendary battles and royal feasts. "This castle has stood for centuries," Sir Cedric explained. "It is home to our king and queen, and the heart of the Kingdom of Eldoria. You're lucky to have arrived during a time of peace, though not all is as it seems." As they walked, Sir Cedric brought them to the castle armory. Max's eyes lit up at the sight of rows of gleaming swords, shields, and suits of armor. "Whoa, can we try these?" Max asked excitedly. Sir Cedric chuckled. "Perhaps one day, young knight. But first, there's something else you should see." He led them up a spiral staircase to the top of one of the castle towers. From here, they could see the entire kingdom spread out before them, lush forests, winding rivers, and distant mountains. But in the far distance, dark storm clouds hovered ominously over a dark forest. "That is the Forbidden Forest," Sir Cedric said, his tone darkening. "It is said to be home to an ancient sorcerer who holds the power to travel through time. Many believe that the sorcerer seeks to control the future of Eldoria, but we lack the means to stop him." Lily looked at Max, a spark of realization in her eyes. "Max, I think that's why we're here. The book sent us to help." Later that evening, as they sat by a roaring fire in the castle's grand hall, Sir Cedric explained their mission. "To stop the sorcerer and protect our kingdom, you must retrieve the time crystal, a powerful gem hidden deep within the Forbidden Forest. Only with it can we control time and prevent the sorcerer from changing the future." Max and Lily agreed without hesitation. Armed with a magical compass that always pointed toward the crystal, they set out the next morning on their quest. The journey to the Forbidden Forest was perilous. They crossed rickety bridges over rushing rivers, climbed steep mountains, and navigated treacherous trails through dense woods. The magical compass guided them through it all, though Max had to fend off wild beasts with his newfound sword skills, and Lily's sharp mind helped them solve puzzles along the way. At last, they reached the heart of the Forbidden Forest. In a dark and twisted part of the woods, they found the sorcerer's lair, an ancient stone tower covered in thorny vines and surrounded by swirling mists. Lightning flashed in the sky, and the ground trembled as they approached the entrance. Inside, the air was thick with dark magic. The walls were lined with strange symbols, and at the center of the chamber, the time crystal rested on a pedestal, glowing with an eerie light. But before they could reach it, the sorcerer appeared in a flash of light, his long robes billowing around him. "Fools," he hissed. "Do you really think you can take the time crystal from me?" Max raised his sword, ready for a fight, but the sorcerer's dark magic was too strong. He sent waves of energy toward them, knocking Max's sword from his hand. Lily, thinking quickly, remembered a spell from one of the castle's ancient books Sir Cedric had shown them earlier. She shouted the words, and suddenly, the magic from the sorcerer's spell was reversed, weakening him just long enough for Max to snatch the time crystal from its pedestal. "No!" the sorcerer screamed as his power faded. The tower began to crumble around them, and Max and Lily raced out just in time, the time crystal safely in their hands. With the time crystal, Max and Lily returned to Castle Eldoria, where Sir Cedric greeted them with relief and gratitude. The storm clouds over the kingdom cleared, and the once dark future of Eldoria was bright again. "You have done what no one else could," Sir Cedric said, bowing deeply. "Thanks to your bravery, the kingdom is safe from the sorcerer's control. The king and queen will honor your deeds for all time." As a reward, Sir Cedric gave Max and Lily a small, enchanted hourglass. "This will allow you to travel through time whenever you wish. You've earned it." With their mission complete, Max and Lily returned to the magical treehouse. The world around them shimmered once again, and before they knew it, they were back in their backyard, holding the enchanted hourglass. They placed it on the shelf next to the magical book, knowing that their adventures were far from over. With the power to travel through time, the possibilities were endless. As the sun set, Max and Lily sat in their treehouse, dreaming of their next journey through time, eager to see where their magical book would take them next. And so, their adventures continued, filled with castles, knights, and the mysteries of time itself.